What's up, guys? It's Llewellyn. Hope you're all doing well. I'm gonna try to make my videos short and sweet as much as I can. I know you're all ADD as hell, and I am too. And there's no reason to create videos that are just too long. Um, there's so many animals in this room, and they all want to escape. I'm not gonna let them out though until I finish this video. So I wanted to give you just kind of a quick and dirty look at how the over RSI strategy works and all these trades that you could have been making. And I've hit on quite a few of these. It's really easy, and with a little practice and paying attention, I think you can pick this up really fast. So just as a reminder, so the main keys that we're looking for with the strategy is RSI moving into the overbought and oversold zones between above 70 being overbought and below 30 being oversold. And so that's kind of the initial indicator that we have a potential trade. So Ethereum, and by the way, I'm looking at the 3-minute chart. So typically I do this as a day trader. I think it works best for day trading. You can use I use some of the principles from this strategy in swing trading, but this is more my day trading strategy. So there were a couple points that I made in the previous video, but about when to enter the trade and when to exit the trade. But I kind of just want to break this down and just be really straightforward and simple about it. So when RSI moves above 70 or below 30, I'm getting ready to trade. Now, typically, what'll happen is RSI will move, and you'll see there'll be these little spikes, but RSI will move into this zone before, when it's getting near a peak, when price is getting near a retracement zone. So typically what I'll do is I will either not buy the first spike into the overbought or oversold zone, depending if the trend is moving. If it's a very strong trend like this, for example, that spike into the oversold zone is usually going to lead to a continuation of that pattern. So we would be patient and wait to come in and make sure that we're reversing. But when price is going sideways, I trade it a little more aggressively because there are all these little trades that you can make, and if you're not fearing a massive breakout or something like that, you can just kind of ride these up and down. So as I said, typically I'll wait till the second spike, but I will usually enter a small position on the first spike. So maybe I'll do 10% of the maximum of what I'm willing to trade for that whole trade. So not a ton, but enough that if it gets rolling, I'll make a few bucks, and I'm good with that. And if it continues in whatever direction, if it continues to move against me, I still have 90% of what I'm willing to trade that I can average down with or average up with if I'm shorting. So I can, if I put in 10%, then maybe I'll put in 20% the next time and practically erase the difference in price, or even 30%. Typically I'll leave myself at least 3 or 4 buys. So in this, so with Ethereum here, we're just kind of trending sideways. So each time it moves into the overbought and oversold zones, if you look, there's a trade opportunity at every one of these. So look right here, we spike into overbought, and all you have to do is just wait for that candle to close. I set all those alarms you're seeing are going off is telling me that RSI is moving into one of those zones. So I recommend you do that. I'll sit here and I'll wait till that candle closes. I'll open a short right around here, and then the rules of the system tell me when to exit the trade. So if you remember, and I'll post this so you have it, the two conditions, there's actually three conditions for closing a trade. One is when we get an RSI trend, we draw the trend line. So you can see here, RSI is creating a trend, and then it creates a trend line. And if it moves back across that trend line, that's a signal to sell. You can see price starts to move up right at that point. The second thing is if it moves into the opposite over extended zone. So we're in an overbought here, and it trended all the way down into oversold. So that's typically if I buy it when it's overbought, or if I short when it's overbought, if RSI runs all the way down to oversold, I'll usually just take profit there, because usually I'll get a few percent. And in this case, that's exactly what happened. It's almost a 2% trade if you get it right on. And the third thing is, I will just close trades when I'm profitable. When I'm sometimes, the chart doesn't tell the whole tale of how everything went. So there are some cases where there'll be a big wick, and maybe I'll sell at the bottom of a wick or something like that. I'm not greedy. When I get profitable, I'll close the trade, and it works for me. So again, here we have all these opportunities. So you can short this, ride it all the way down. Look, it goes into the oversold zone. Then we can open a trade here. Look at that. Same rules. We ride it up for 1.5%. So you close it when it gets to overbought or when it crosses back over. And then we have price comes down, comes back up. These animals are crazy. All right, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Getting a little long. But go back and back test your charts. Throw it on the 3-minute, and not every chart is going to work out as well as others, but that's part of doing the research. Is look at the chart, go back and back test, and see, well, when RSI moves into these zones, what happens? Okay, so with Ethereum, what I'm seeing is practically every time it moves into these overbought or oversold zones, there's a trade opportunity. Trade. This one, it barely moved into that zone, but you could average down, and there's the trade. Up here, there's a short. There's a short. There's a short. Practically the entire chart is tradable. It's amazing. So I just wanted to make this quick video kind of explaining that in the middle of the night. I'm drinking some wine. It's been a good day of trading. I hope it's going well for you, and give this a shot, man. I'm telling you, it's working out really well for me. I'm excited about it, and I think especially for newer traders that are getting acclimated to the market, this is a lot of information to try to. By the way, I'm shorting this right now, so I'm friggin' excited. And yeah, actually, so here's a real life example of how this works. So we saw it spike up here, and then we have bearish divergence. So I opened a short up here, and look, now we're all the way down into oversold zone, overbought zone. So I have a relatively small position open right now, because I'm doing some other stuff. But yeah, look at that. So just to show you, I'm actually trading this shit. Okay. Yeah, it's small right now, but that's a 1.5%. I only put in 12 ETH. Okay, most of the time that's going to be a a much bigger win than that. I'm going to keep this open for a while too, because actually I'm not. I'm going to close this pretty soon. I think we're getting close to a bounce. So, and actually going back to my 3-minute chart, one of the guidelines I gave was, in a strong trend, wait for that first spike. So we're getting that first spike right now, and honestly, I may just close this and start opening a small long position, and then, but wait for that second spike. The second spike is usually the one where you're gonna bottom out. You're gonna catch the bottom. Most of the time, that's where it is. So if you look here, like this is a good example. See that spike? It's not quite the bottom. We have one more wave down. The second spike, that's where you would open the position, and that's right at the bottom. So go back and back test your chart, see if it works. Let me know how I can help you. And cheers. Have a good night.